Hey everybody, welcome to Eagles Game Plan presented by Toyota. I am John Clark. Birds are back home at the Link against the Jets after running all over the Packers out in Green Bay. It was amazing. 33 carries for 176 yards, more rushing yards than passing yards. Who would have thunk? So let's break all that down in our tape study presented by Chickies and Pete's. Here's offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland and our own Fran Duffy.
Sanders, the single setback. Give goes to Sanders off the left side. 35, 40, 45, midfield. Cuts back, takes it to the 45-yard line. That is what you have in Miles Sanders.
Well, joining us this week for tape study is Eagles offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland. Coach, welcome to the show. And want to just first take a look at one of the biggest plays on the ground. Obviously, you guys had such a great day running the football last Thursday night against Green Bay. This 30-yard run from Miles Sanders. Take us through the construct of the play and why it worked so well.
Well, I think, what happens early downs, people are trying to stop you from running the football. So they're building this bare front, so to speak, covering up both guards. They're putting safeties down in the box. So all we've tried to do right here is cut the defense in half. You see Dallas come in here, and then JP works up to the safety, and then we're going to cut the defense right there, and then Zach will block the outside linebacker, and then we'll cut it out to the safety. We'll let the safety have to make the play. And then you see Isaac is going to get what they call a vertical void here. You probably should snake a little bit more to the left, but you see Isaac trying to get over here and seal off the middle linebacker. But right there, you're going to see Dallas cut the defense. Now that's where the defense gets cut, and then we're going to book that guy. That's the corner. Let him have to make the play. Those guys are hired to pretty much cover receivers. So if you have to let somebody be free, let's let the last guy that wants to have to be free. So that's how we did that. And then you see Miles does a great job here of just hitting this 100 miles an hour.
So ultimately, I guess if you want to break it down for the layman, is that by blocking one of their big guys with a quote-unquote smaller guy and a tight end, that allows you to get these bigger bodies and Isaac and JP up into space and kind of let them do work?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
At the second level.
Obviously, one of the bigger plays in that fourth quarter. Awesome run there by Miles Sanders. Let's bring us now to the guy that had a huge day in this game, Coach, and that's new Eagles running back Jordan Howard. Running the football, catching the football, did a lot for this offense. This is his first touchdown of the night down on the goal line.
Well, as you see here, there's no free safety in the middle of the field, so they're in zero coverage. And basically, you're a man or maybe two men short.
Sure.
And so what we're trying to do here is you see how we push the point out here. You see Kelsey point out there. So now we're going to displace these players here with JP, Isaac, and Kelsey. And then we're going to really put the most important blocks here on Brooks and Lane. And we're going to ask these two guys here to backside displacement block. And then Jordan knows this. It's like surfing, man. You want to ride that wave. You want to be on that same departure angle as those two players. And then we have Alex coming across here. And we're going to try to get him as tight as he can to Lane's hip. So whoever the first defender is, and I told him, actually on our walkthrough, I brought him in, just me and him, and I showed him this defense. This is amazing that this hit. We had this exact same scenario in the film in the O-line room. I brought Alex, and I said, Alex, and Coach Peel does a great job with him explaining this, but I said, look, you might not be going out here to the safety. This backer could scrape right off of Lane's butt. And I'm telling you, stay as tight as you can to Lane. And then you're going to see it on the film. He catches him here at the last second, and the defender here never sees him coming. I thought Alex did a great job of implementing what we talked about in practice, and that's really where the defense got cut, because if he doesn't get there, that play's being made. I mean, you see people on Sunday struggling from the one, trying to just get it in. Here we got Jordan walking in because of all the execution that's going on.
The idea of establishing the run was obviously huge in this game. This is the opening drive, a 19-yard run from Jordan Howard. Take us through what we're looking at here. He's lined up on the right side. On the last one, he's kind of hitting it up towards the left, but this is actually going back the opposite way here.
Yeah, I think it gives you the illusion defensively a little bit like we're running that same type of play, but yet we're not. We're running a gap play, single tight end gap play. You see Isaac pulling, and we knew that they would try to make this, they're trying to spill this thing. So this gets a little bit wider. You see Isaac here pull around all this trash. And now, again, when you're playing against teams that are going to bring the safety down and build a box that you don't have enough players, you have to be creative okay, by utilizing your receivers, by utilizing some jet motions, by utilizing something to give the defense an illusion or to pull somebody out of the box. Otherwise, you're a man short. I think Mac does a great job of going in here. He's being physical. He's setting the angle, and there's allows Isaac to get around that. And what we tell Jordan here is, hey, Jordan, you follow the inside hip of the pulling guard. Wherever he goes, if he goes up in the hole, you follow his inside hip. Here in this case, you see Jordan, he just tracks the inside hip of Isaac and follows him outside of all this, and I think that's the reason why this play pops like it does.
Coach, this is 2 weeks in a row now where you've had two defenses that have been heavy sub-package. You know, when you guys go out 12 personnel, I think all of the snaps of 12 personnel with two tight ends on the field, they matched up in sub. What does that mean for you guys coming in? Is that kind of a challenge for the offensive line? We say, all right, well, this is a team that we want to be able to try and run the football?
Yeah, I think that you have to be balanced. I really do believe that. I think when you're balanced, I can tell you this, you could show our two tight ends on the field and some of the passes that we threw, some of the touchdowns that we threw. So you can't just go out there and say, oh, they got the two tight ends, we're going to line up in base defense. Okay, so I'm just saying we have some really good weapons, and I think you have to be balanced in both phases, and we will be.
Eagles Game Plan is brought to you by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers, a proud automotive partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
The band is back together.
The what?
The band is back together.
You guys are in a band?
Yeah.
What do you call yourselves?
We haven't thought of that yet.
Dumb and Dumber. Let's go. Let's ball. Let's ball, baby. Come on. Put on the show tonight.
Wentz looking, fires, complete, touchdown. He's got his man, Alshon Jeffrey.
Hey! Go, baby!
The pass goes, and it is complete for a touchdown to Dallas Goedert. Rodgers goes back. He's setting up. He's hit. He fumbles the football, and the Eagles have it.
Here we go. Let's go now.
Wentz goes to Howard. He's in for the touchdown.
Great job. Great freaking job up front. Great job. Come on, D.
Rodgers back. He pumps. He fires. It is intercepted on the deflection.
Give me some. Come on.
All right, Carson Wentz mic'd up. Good time for him to be mic'd up. They were technically, in my opinion, unofficially 5 for 5 in the red zone. And you talked last week about the Eagles getting good matchups with their running backs on linebackers. This was kind of a matchup on nobody, which is always good. How'd that happen?
Well, it's all in the scheme, and it is really trying to get the matchups that you want. And you get Alshon going vertical, but all of these guys crossing routes. Everything is crossing, and it's all for one effect. They're going to get this linebacker to take one step forward, and it's going to set up the perfect pick action by the outside receiver. And John, when you watch Jordan Howard going down the sideline, there's nobody there. Why? Because of all of the traffic inside. And this outside receiver, he's able to pick off the linebacker that's in man coverage, and he's got a free run to the sideline. And it's a perfect throw by Carson, hits him in stride, and look, all the green grass out in front of him down the sideline. This is how they scheme, this is how they game plan to get their halfbacks matched up one-on-one, and then that mesh action, getting those guys picked off, just makes it an easy throw for the quarterback.
Enemy Intel is brought to you by Rothman Orthopedics at Jefferson Health, the official orthopedics and healthcare partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, you cannot sugarcoat this. The New York Jets defense has not been very good through 3 games. The numbers tell you that. The personnel, well, there have been so many injuries that the Jets have had to play with a lot of backups, and that's tough duty in the NFL. But let's keep one thing in mind. Their defensive coordinator is Greg Williams. This is his 19th season as an NFL defensive coordinator. He's been around the block a few times. He's seen a lot. So you have to understand one thing when you go against the Jets and Greg Williams. You must play and scheme against Greg Williams, not the Jets personnel. Because what Greg Williams does exceptionally well is disguise. And you can see this right here. You're going to see the slot corner, Brian Poole. He looks like he's man-to-man over the inside slot. but what he's going to do is race into the deep middle as a middle hole defender. So there's a disguise element there, and this is something that Gregg Williams does exceptionally well. Now at times, you'll see the Jets disguise themselves out of a coverage. Players don't get where they need to be as quickly as they should, and that can cause problems. So it's a homework game for the Eagles offense and their offensive coaching staff. Be prepared for the unexpected with Gregg Williams.
All right, Greg Cassell showing us that Gregg Williams is going to throw a lot of different looks at Carson Wentz, just like he saw against the Green Bay defense, Mike Quick.
Yeah.
And one of the great things is the Eagles were above 50% on third down again. They're number one in the NFL in third downs, 56%,
Yep.
after being only 40% last year. They worked on these things all training camp. Why are they so good on third down this year?
So that was one of the emphasis. Coming into this season, they had to get better. They knew they needed to be better on third down, knew they needed to be better in the red zone, and it's really working out. Carson Wentz is really, really sharp in those situations, John. But I think the running game and the way the running game is coming along is certainly helping that. If you look back to 2017, that was a big factor, that they were able to run the football. Now, again, they're able to run the football, and it's helping. They're getting in the situations now on third down where it's third and manageable. It's not a long third down situation. And again, the quarterback has really been sharp in those situations.
And in the red zone, the most important part of the field, the Eagles are fourth in the NFC, and you've got Dallas Goedert, you've got Alshon Jeffrey completely healthy now.
Yeah.
How does that help the offense when you're in the red zone with those big targets?
It matters because they create mismatches. A lot of the cornerbacks, Alshon can overpower them, go up over those. And it doesn't matter who you line up on Dallas Goedert. You've got a mismatch problem. It's usually going to be a linebacker or a safety. He's so much bigger, so much stronger, such a good route runner. That's a problem for any defense.
Listen, I've told you guys this before. The one thing I love about you is the way you fight for 60 minutes. And you hang in there with one another. When things don't look pretty, and it's never a pretty win, okay? But it is a win. Hey, listen, it took all 60 minutes. It took every man in this room to get this thing done, okay? There is no quit in this team. It's all about fight. It's all about hanging together, about one play at a time, right? We talked about that stuff this week on a short week. I'm so proud of this group, man. So proud of this group. And we needed this, okay? We needed this for a lot of reasons, okay? For a lot of reasons. One, to get to 2-2. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. But we're 1-0 this week. 1-0 this week. Hey man, I'm so happy for every single one of you.
Oh, you could tell from Doug Peterson, he knew how big that win was in Green Bay, the way he spoke to the Eagles. You could tell how passionate he was. How about the job the Eagles defense did? That was really the difference in the game, the red zone. They're the best red zone team in the NFL since Jim Schwartz became the defensive coordinator. They're fourth in the NFC right now, but the Packers game, that was huge.
Yeah, to me, the red zone defense is the reason why you won this football game. Besides the obvious interception to end the game, the fact that you hold this Green Bay offense to 3 for 7 in the red zone really kept the Eagles in the game, and then it sealed the game with the interception. And a lot of it starts up front. I think getting great pressure on Aaron Rodgers, forcing him to get rid of the ball before he's ready to get rid of the ball is the reason why they had success down here. First of all, the Packers decide they don't want to run the ball against this Eagles defense because it's too difficult. So you're going to have to get quick throws here. Brandon does a great job of not flowing down, biting on that play action fake. He gets upfield to that upfield shoulder of Aaron Rodgers, forces Aaron Rodgers to get rid of the ball before he wants to the fullback in the flat. And even if that fullback caught the ball there, you see Zach Brown right there ready to make that tackle. The Eagles weren't really fundamentally sound in the red zone, and it's what you have to be playing against Aaron Rodgers because there are a lot of plays that are off schedule, right? Take a look here. They're in what we call a little bit of a man defense here. You're going to get the pressure from up front on Aaron Rodgers, and look at the job the back end of this defense does, plastering all the men. Brandon Graham, great job here, getting pressure here, force Aaron Rodgers off of his spot, going to get him to roll out here to the right. And then I love how everyone locks up their guy. Everyone finds their guy. Aaron Rodgers nowhere to go with the ball. And then Fletcher Cox, you see him run down the line. Because here's the thing here. Aaron Rodgers still has the ability to run or throw the ball there. So Fletcher has to somewhat slow play this thing and not overcommit. Does a nice job there. Again, allowing his defense to continue to play on the back end. And then Zach Brown, that's a very difficult play. Just a nice throw up there from Aaron Rodgers. Jimmy Graham would have had to make a great catch there, but that play was disrupted by the guys up front, getting pressure on Aaron Rodgers, making him uncomfortable, and then having guys on the back end be disciplined and stick to their guys.
And you knew Ike would find a play where the linebacker made a nice play covering Jimmy Graham.
Well, yeah, the other linebacker made the play to win the game.
Yeah, sure. So also, what the Eagles do against the run, stopping the run, one of the best in the NFL during the game, how does that affect the opponent's play calling when they're in situations like this? And then are the Eagles thinking, hey, we can get after the passer here?
Yeah, here's what it does to you. As a defense, you want to be able to take the run away from a team, right? That's sort of mano-a-mano type of thing. And teams are coming to game plans versus the Eagles deciding, we may try to give you a courtesy run just to let you know we will do it from time to time. But you can tell they've been heavy pass attempts against this Eagles defense besides running the ball against them. It's tough sledding, one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league against the run. And when you can make a team one-dimensional, eventually you're going to make plays in the passing game. And that's what you saw Thursday night against the Packers. You got a sack, strip fumble there. You got the interception to win the game late in the game. That's what you want to do, make an offense one-dimensional, because that makes it easy for you to defend them.
There's no question this has been a really, really difficult year for the New York Jets offense through 3 games. Head coach Adam Gase has just not been able to do what he wants to do with so many injuries. And an offensive line that, quite honestly, based on film study, has just not gotten the job done on a weekly basis. And that's caused a lot of problems both in the run game and the pass game. So as we look at this Jets offense, what are the constants? You have Le'Veon Bell, still one of the best backs in the league as a runner and as a receiver. And he is definitely someone the Eagles must focus on. Another constant is Robbie Anderson. Now, he can run. He's a vertical dimension. So that's something the Eagles must be prepared for. And we know there have been changes in the secondary due to injury. So Robbie Anderson must be someone the Eagles focus on. The number 1 receiver, though, through 3 weeks, that's been Jamison Crowder working out of the slot. The Eagles know him well from his days in Washington, and he's very, very good. And he's really good on 3rd down. He can work the middle of the field, the short to intermediate area, and this route against the Buffalo Bills is such a good example of what Crowder can do. He looks like he's going to run a little jerk route, working to the inside against the nickel corner. But then he breaks back outside, catches the ball with room to run, turns it into an 11-yard gain, 1st down. That sustains offense. So the Eagles have to deal with Jamison Crowder in the slot. He will be the number 1 weapon, particularly on 3rd down.
All right, Ike Reese, the guy they need to watch out for, Jamison Crowder. As Greg said, they obviously know him from the Redskins days. And you're going into a game where you don't know exactly what's going to happen at the Eagles' cornerback position. But what is it like? You were in the huddles, you were in a position group when other guys have to come in and step up, and maybe even how you help them out.
Well, I'll tell you, I have been in that position. And as a young player, you certainly are excited about the opportunity that you may be afforded to go out there and show that you can play at this level. I mean, that's big for every player. But then there's also a responsibility that comes with that. You know that you're the new man out there, and you want to make sure you're doing your part of the job to make sure that this defense is in the best position so that they can be successful. So you take a guy like Craig James, he's certainly going to ride that momentum from last week. If he's going to be a guy that's out there playing a lot this week, you have a full week of practice as opposed to being thrown into the fire last week when it was unexpected. So that'll certainly be able to settle his nerves and give him confidence. But also, it puts the defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz, in a difficult position because now he has to sort of coach and make a game plan to where he sort of caters to what Craig James does well and what he doesn't do well without compromising the whole defense. So to me, it's a positive. Like I said, every player wants to prove that he deserves to be at this level, and young guys are going to get their opportunity to show it this week.
All right, there's the recipe for success, the game plan to beat the Jets. Look out for that different look defense from Greg Williams. Jamison Crowder, tough out of the slot, and continue the success in the red zone, and the Birds should get a W. Thanks for watching Eagles Game Plan presented by Toyota. And if you want more of these X's and O's breakdowns, check out the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Eagles Game Plan is brought to you by
your local Tri-State Toyota dealers, a proud automotive partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.